I asked you mob in a community tab what trick tip tutorial you want to see, and most of you wanted to know how to kickflip, so that's the tutorial I'm going to make right now. Before you learn how to kickflip, you want to know how to do an ollie. And the second trick you should know, it's optional, it's not required, but this helps me heaps, is knowing how to do a ghost flip. A ghost flip is basically just when you put your foot underneath the board and you flip it around like that. Before you even try to learn how to kickflip, what I did was this. I just did this like for 20 minutes straight, because it just gets me the idea of catching the board and just helps my brain work out how to react to the kickflip motion. Even though this is a heel flip motion, it's a flip motion, it helps. So do this, and that will teach you how to catch the board with your back foot. This is my foot positioning for kickflips. So my front foot is angled a little bit, My back foot is just in the center of the tail, just like you would for an ollie. Just an ollie position, but your front foot is angled. That's the foot positioning. Now that you're pretty comfortable with catching the board with your back foot, it's time to get the front foot involved. The front foot has to roll, your ankle has to roll. So your knee has to move diagonally that way, and that's going to allow your foot to roll, your ankle to roll. So with your knee out this way, that's going to allow your ankle to roll up, and you just want to flick somewhere in line with the bolts here. That's where I usually flick from. I can't kickflip. So just practice the sliding and the rolling of the ankle, and really extend your foot out, like ninja kick it out. Once you know how to do that, then you can forget that advice, because you don't want to do that as a complete beginner. This is how I learned to kickflip, right? Because for some reason, flicking out in this pocket just did not work for me as a beginner. What I had to do is angle my front foot vertical like this and kick directly sideways. So I'm flicking right where my foot is, right off to the side. I'm not aiming for a pocket, I'm not kicking forward, I'm just kicking directly sideways with the foot vertical. That's how I learned to kickflip as an absolute beginner. Switch and regular. Just as a beginner, that's how I had to do it. And you're still rolling the ankle, you're still doing that. You're just kicking directly sideways. This may not help you, but this is just how I had to do it. And as you get more and more confident, you can flick more and more forward than sideways. Obviously, just pop the board like you would for an ollie. So you just pop exactly like you would for an ollie. When you get good at kickflips, you kind of lean back. So the faster you're moving, and even if you're kickflipping stair sets, you got to lean back a little bit more, like more over the back truck. But once again, this is just if you're going really fast or over some sort of drop. So lean over the back truck. You're catching the board with the back foot. You bend your knees before you pop. You bend your knees while you pop, and you bend your knees when you land. You should be as low as you possibly can be. For more control, I'll give you some common mistakes. So if you cannot get your front foot to commit to the board, what you got to do is you got to pop and just land solely with the front foot. Like that. And I guess the same thing, if you can't land with the back foot, most people find it easy to commit with the back foot. But I don't know, if you have problems with the back foot, then you can do that. Alright, and another common problem is your board lands upside down and it doesn't do the full 360 kickflip motion. So if you have that problem, then you've got to angle your front foot more vertical, and it might help to put your front foot lower on the board, because the higher your front foot is, the more it's going to grip the nose of the board. So the lower you have it, the less it's going to grip onto the board and get stuck, and more vertical, the more it's going to flick sideways, so the faster you'll flick it. And then if the board is flicking too fast, then you can put your front foot further up on the board, like more on the nose, not on the nose, but higher on the board, and angle it less. If it's flicking too fast, just flick directly sideways. That's what worked for me. I'm not saying it will work for you, but it might work for you, so try it and let me know if it works. Obviously, as a beginner, you can do this trick stationary. You don't have to roll. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Do it in a crack, do it on grass, whatever you feel comfortable with. Start slow and work your way up from there. By the way, I have a Discord server. I don't know if you know that or not, where I teach skateboarding on a written perspective. So if you don't like watching YouTube videos and you prefer reading, then join my Discord server, because I have written tutorials on how to do tricks. So if you want to learn any trick from a written perspective, join my Discord server. The link's in the description. And other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.